Hello, how are you guys tonight? So, tonight I am addressing you about cats. And I am a cat owner. I've been a cat owner for years. I've had cats since I was probably about 8 years old. And I know sometimes it's really hard when you're a new cat owner. And so I thought it would be kind of cool to do a vlog on cats and being a new cat owner, or if you're trying to make the decisions whether to get a cat or not to get a cat. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about why me and my husband chose getting cats over getting dogs. The reasons are simple. And here's the thing, we have a busy lifestyle. We're not home a lot. We like to take 2 to 3 day trips and leave the house and not have to worry about paying for somebody to watch the dog, to sit with the dog, or to put it in a kennel for the 3 days that we're gone. Because we go places where, we're not going to be able to take the dog inside a resort or a hotel or, those kind of places. They don't allow them, right? So that's part of the reason why we decided on a cat over a dog. The other reason we decided on a cat over a dog is you can leave food down for 3 days worth of food, water, and leave them, like I said, for 3 days. You do not have to walk a cat every day. You do not have to exercise a cat every day. You don't have to come home on your lunch break and hope that, your work is close enough for you to let the dogs out on lunch break. And if not, find a neighbor or a friend or a relative that you can trust that can let your dogs out. Or you leave them outside on a leash all day while you're working and then bring them inside. And sometimes you don't know if there's going to pop up thunderstorm, rain shower, something like that. And you have to make sure you have an area that is safe and secure for your dog to go to run to, when things like that happen if you have them outside. When you have a cat, you don't have to worry about those things because, again, a cat does not need walked every day or exercised every day. Cat doesn't need let out to go to the bathroom. They use their litter box inside the house. So there's a lot of pros to owning a cat. It depends on your lifestyle, whether you want a cat or a dog. Cats are a lot easier to own because of those reasons. Cats, unlike dogs, they do not like messes. They try to hide their messes. They cover them up. They're ashamed when they make a mess. They go hide and cower because they feel bad because they just got sick at their stomach. Or they're finding their toys or something close by and they're trying to pull it over it. Because they didn't do it in their litter box. So when they cover their excrement, they're clean and normally very clean animals. And so for that reason, unlike a dog who likes to eat their vomit and eat their poo if you don't grab them fast enough, I've had both, so I know all these things, okay? So that's your pros and cons to owning a cat or a dog. Dogs are very loyal. They listen to commands. I'm giving you pros and cons of both, okay? They listen to commands, and they're extremely trainable, and they're very loyal. And they wait for you at the door when you come home. Here's the thing that people don't understand about cats. They are too. Cats are trainable. My cats know not to get on furniture. I got them trained, we got them trained where they do not get on furniture. They know it's a no-no. They don't do it. Okay? Except for when Grayson is determined to have attention, and the only way to get my attention is to jump in front of my computer. And then he kind of does that, okay? So cats are extremely trainable as well. They sometimes have to be trained, especially if you get them from just weaned. They have to be trained how to use a litter box, so you're constantly having to sit them inside that litter box and teach them that they're supposed to go inside that litter box. And so the thing with cats is they're just more independent, but if you really want to, they know by the sound of your voice when they're doing something they shouldn't, and they stop and they quit doing it. Grayson, for example, and cats have different behaviors, okay? So we had to train Grayson to quit biting. He had a horrible biting habit. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And the friends who rescued him and gave him to us, they had a little, stylus that you use for like your, I don't know, laptops, tablet, smartphones, touch screens. And they would put that in his mouth and shove that in his mouth to keep him from biting. It's like, no, 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 no. I've had a cat for years, okay? They're used to dogs in, one of them's had both as well. But I think she's more of a dog person than she is a cat person, you could tell. You don't shove things in a cat's mouth to train it not to do something. That's not how you train them. What you do is you give them a tap on the nose. And you don't give them a hard tap. It's more of a just boom, just enough to let them know that, hey, that's a no-no. You don't want to do it super hard because then you're hurting them. It's just a gentle tap on the nose. And as soon as you give them that tap on the nose, they know that means no. And they don't do it. And so it's gotten to where now Grayson doesn't bite anymore. But the thing that happens so this is tip one for new cat owners. If you have a cat and they have a biting problem, that is one way you can train them to stop biting, is tap them on the nose. And once you've done that a few times, using, if you got rolled up newspaper, they hate the sound of that for some reason, whap it on your hand really hard. And a lot of times it gives them off the counters. That's another option from using a spray bottle. Why do cats sometimes as they get older are afraid of water? It's because either their owners were mean to them and they stuck them under the faucet, or it's because they use spray bottles on them. My cat, Grayson, I think is kind of a little bit of a bagel mix because he's got a very, I'm going to do what I want temperament. So sometimes he still gets a little naughty and we have to get on him. But here's the thing, he loves water. And we've never used anything like that on him. And so what does that tell you? He's not afraid of water. We have a water fountain that runs water all the time for them to drink out of. And he sticks his whole entire head under there to where his whole face, and he's just drenched, and he loves it. And he gets under the water faucets. He likes saying, if he hadn't trained him not to get into the tub, he would have gotten in the tub and taken a bath with us. Seriously, this cat is something awesome. So cats are very loyal, just like dogs. And they're just different in the fact that they're a little more independent, okay? So I gave you your first tip on how to train your cat. A lot of times, try not to use water bottles unless you absolutely have no other choice. Tap on the nose if they're biting or scratching at you in a way that you don't like. And then making sure you have something that's loud, and a loud noise that they do not like. And that will deter them. As soon as you see them get on that counter, yell and say their name and tell them no, and smack your hand with whatever that thing is that's nice and loud, and I guarantee you they will get off your counters and they will learn quickly what they're allowed to do and not allowed to do. If they're trying to bite wires, anything like that, it will help deter them. Another thing that works if you're training your cat and having a hard time is tea tree oil. They hate the smell of it. It's a very, very strong smell, and it's a very good cat deterrent. We've had to use that with one of my cats before. And what you do is you will put tea tree oil around on the edges of the furniture that you don't want them to get up on. So when they go to get up on it, they smell that smell and they back up. They don't like the smell. It overwhelms them for some reason. So you want to back up. And it causes them to back up, and they don't want anything to do with that area for a little bit, okay? And then that kind of gets them a conscientious thing. They relate that smell constantly to that piece of furniture, and then they don't want to get on it. So that really helps a lot too. And they are so loyal because here's the thing. We're going to get into cat behaviors, and my cats, I got lots of cute stories I can tell you, but I don't want to bore you guys. But I'm doing this as a premiere. And so the cool thing is it will play, and so you can write something to me on live chat, and you can tell me your cat stories, or you can leave me a comment below and tell me your cat story about your cats, because I would love to hear them, because I am a cat person, and I love to hear about people's animals. I don't care if it's a dog or cat. Tell me about your dogs and dog Ralph. I don't care. You know, I don't have a cat, but I have a dog, and my dog has this cute little behavior, and he does this little thing. Tell me about it. I want to hear it. Put it in a comment. I want to know about it, okay? Because I like animals. I like all kinds of animals. So you could talk to me about your animals all day and I would never get bored. Let's just put it that way. You really want to get my attention and get me to stick around and want to talk to you for a long time on chat or anything like that, start talking to me about your animals and their cute little behaviors, and I guarantee you I'll be sharing all my stories. Next thing you know, we'll be talking back and forth for hours. Just sorry. I be like, I need to go. It's like, what time is it? Oh, wait. Okay. So Anyway, but I love cat behaviors, and some good cat behaviors that you would like to understand a little bit more. One thing about cats is that they, like I said, they can be very independent. They want you when they want you, and so there's times when you'll call them and they will not come to you. Um, but here's what's cool, is every cat is different. Okay, my cat Dixie, she comes to you when she wants to, so you literally have to pick her up and put her on my lap, is how I have to do her, to let her know that I want her full attention. I want to cuddle her. And then what does she do? She's mad at me. She jumps off of me, down on the floor she goes, runs away. And within 10 minutes, she's like, okay, I got the point, Mom wants to cuddle. So then she comes back, she jumps on my lap, and she stays. But why? Because it was her idea. The second time, first time, it was my idea. She was like, no. So, sometimes you just gotta let them know you want them and let them decide whether they're going to stay or not. Don't force them. That's the worst thing you can do with a cat. To have a good foundation with your cat and to have a good relationship with them, you never hold them against their will. I never force them to do anything. It's okay to pick them up and snuggle them a little bit, and it's okay to take them and put them on your lap. And like, I'll sit down on the couch or the chair and I'll put her on my lap, and then I let her make the decision whether she's staying or doesn't stay with me, and I let her go about her way. I don't sit there and hold her down as tight as I can. You're not moving, you can't leave, and then she's wiggling trying to get away from me. If you want your cat to start to hate you instead of having a good human animal bond with you, force them to do what you want them to do all the time, and I guarantee you that cat will get towards me and it'll hate you. So, first rule of thumb, want good cat behaviors, want a good relationship with your cat, never force it to do anything. Okay, opposite. Okay, like I said, cats have different behaviors. Grayson is so cute. You can meow at a high-pitched meow, and some of you have watched some of my videos, have seen it happen. At the end of the video, workout sometimes during my live workouts, I will get his attention and get him to come. Either I'm shaking cat treats, which gets both of them in, or I'm doing a high-pitched squealing meow. That's Grayson's call. Okay, it may sound awful weird, but cats talk to humans in meow 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 language. How they talk to each other is stare. This stare means this. This stare means this. This paw means this paw means that. The reason that they meow is they're talking and communicating with us. People don't realize that cats really don't meow at each other too often unless they're irritated with each other. They're hissing, they're meowing at each other. And Grayson barks like a dog when he plays. Yeah, he does. So, Grayson comes to a high-pitched meow. I don't care where my husband is in the house. Our house is tiny anyway. He can be sound asleep on this computer chair, and he can be laying on the bed in the living room, and he wants his cat. All he has to do is start that high-pitched meow like that. Grayson's awake. Off the chair he goes, and in there, and jumps right up on the bed, and right in Brent's face like a little puppy dog. My male cats, okay, the difference is between a male and a female. Here's what I want you to think about also when you go to own a cat. If a female cat is more independent, she's a little more skittish for the most part. She's not quite as brave. And she's not going to come to you as much as you want. And she's only going to be on your lap when she wants to be on your lap. Otherwise, she's going to be curled up next to you in a little ball on the couch somewhere. Or she's going to be sleeping on a cat tree. She still wants to be close to a human. She still likes to be close to me. So my couch is here, and then the cat tree's right here. And half the time when she doesn't want to be curled up on me, she will get up on the cat tree, and she'll stay there. Okay? Male cat. Meow, meow, meow. Boom. Right to Brent he goes. You want a cat that acts more like a dog. You want to get a male cat. You do not want a female. Male cat is a straight up, overly affectionate, smothering you like a dog, licking you all over the place like a dog, comes to you on command, and stands at the door and waits for you to come home. When we had cuddles, we'd hear a scratch, 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 all the time. Brent and I would come in from work if we were gone to work at the same time that day. Scratch, 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 scratch. He was, because Cuddles was on the other side scratching the door because we could not get the door unlocked and inside the house fast enough. He was telling us he wanted his humans inside the house. He heard the car, he knew the car, sound of the car, and he was right there, just like a dog. You have a dog that's inside the house, one human's inside, the other human's outside. That human was at work, right? Correct. They hear their human's car pull up in the drive. What does that dog do? Jumps off of wherever he's at and makes a beeline for that door. That is exactly what a male cat does. Cuddles did it. Grayson does it. Grayson also watches you leave and gives you a dirty look. He doesn't like it. He's like, he'll look at me and Brent, or me, if I'm leaving on my own, because, Brent's already been at work, and he just gives me the dirtiest little look. Watch me out that window. Like, you're leaving me. Okay? That's what a dog does, too. So, female cat is a cat you want if you want to get affection from her, and not want to be left alone and not have them on your lap and in your face all the time. If you want a lap cat, you want an affectionate cat, you want a cat that is in your face all the time, that acts like a dog, you want a male cat. There's your difference between the male and the female. So I love them both dearly. I like having males and females around. And Dixie's more my cat. Sometimes I get a little jealous because Grayson will come to Brent on command. Sometimes I have to kind of almost like force her, like I said at the beginning, sit her down and let her know I want her, and then hope that after she gets done being mad at me, after walking away and being mad at me for picking her up, that she'll come back and cuddle with me. 9 times out of 10 she does, though. So, okay. So here's another really cool cat behavior. Okay. Cats have body language that they use all the time. Okay, have you seen a cat with its tail high in the air and curled and walking real cute like this towards you? And it's saying hi there. That's actually good. If you ever see a cat with its tail in the air and in a question mark form heading towards you, if you're at a friend's house visiting, that means that cat is comfortable with you. That cat likes you and it's comfortable with you. So then you can easily reach down your hand to that cat and it would come straight to your hand and sniff your hand. And then you could pet it. Okay? Because that's a cat's form of saying, hey, I'm comfortable with you. Hi, how are you? You can pet me if you like to. Type of action. Okay? Cats normally prefer people who come into the house at first and they're very quiet. And what I mean by that is you don't chase the cats down. Where's the cats? I know you have cats. I want to see your cats. Hunt, 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 hunt. Don't go hunting the house for the people's cats. Wrong move. You really want to get to see that person's cats. What you do is you come into the home to visit with them. Sit down at their kitchen table. You sit down on their couch. And you have a nice casual conversation with them. What will happen is the cats will notice that things are calm and quiet. And then they'll get nosy. And then all of a sudden you'll see these little eyes peeking around the corner. And Grayson usually does this little thing like this. And he's staring at you. And then he stands there and he just watches you standing like that for a while. Next thing you know, it comes in a little closer. A little closer. Next thing you know, he did this to my sister. He was up. She had her arm on the couch like this. And he reached up and he goes... And then she started to pet him. If she would have moved a little slower and gave him a little more time, she would have been able to pet him. Eventually, she was actually able to get him to let her pet him. And Dixie's a little less skittish. She will come to you faster, and a lot of times I can pick her up and take her to my company. If I find her, I can just pick her up and cuddle her. But my problem is she grips onto me. They're declawed in the front, and please nobody yell at me for this. And so she grabs on real tight with her paws like this, and it's her way of letting me know, Mom, you can get me close to them, but don't you dare let them hold me. Don't you dare let go of me right now. She's always so scared I'm going to hand her off. So I kind of turn her to where they can kind of see her face and let him pet her. That's the next cat behavior I want to discuss with you. There's cat stares. And there's 2 or 3 different kinds of cat stares. Have you ever noticed that when you go to look at a cat in the eye, that it turns? Next time you go to a friend's house the cat has gotten comfortable with you, pay attention to that behavior. They will literally, if he's tried this, is a no-no. This kind of a stare right here is I'm challenging you. I want to fight you. That's what that means in cat language. Don't ever stare your cat down like this. You're basically telling them that you are challenging them to a duel. That's what cats do. They do that. They'll lock eyes and they'll start doing this. Next thing you know, they're having a cat fight. Okay? So don't ever do that to your cat. So one thing I've learned is, because when I'll hold Dixie, when I was going to show her to somebody, I'll always try to hold it, and if the person starts to look directly in her eyes, I will switch her really fast. Because I know that if they're not used to cats, they don't know not to stare directly in her eyes. And then she's already nervous around them, and I'm trying to give them the opportunity to pet her. So, if you are new to this cat, whatever you do, don't stare them in the eyes. If the cat owner tries to carry it to you to let you see it, don't make an effort to look straight into its eyes. Just be patient with it and let it slowly turn its eyes to you. If it does, then that means it's getting comfortable with you. If it does not, please don't keep trying to look in its eyes, because you're basically telling this cat it's already nervous and scared and probably wanting to attack because it doesn't know what else to do. And it's definitely going to want to you stare it down. The other cat stare is just a slow stare, and they do this in a playful way. And it's not this, it's more like this. And that stare is, I want to play, I'm stalking you, but it's more of a playful stare, and they're ready to play. My favorite stare is this one, the slow blink. You want to get comfortable and do this a lot with your new cat. What that is a symbol of saying, in cat language, I love you. So it took me a long time, because Grayson had bad experience with female humans, and there was a lot of trust issues between me and him when he first came to us, and so I had to be patient with him. And so it took a long time for me to get him to blink back. And finally, he still doesn't do it very often, but finally when I got him to do it, I was like, yes! That meant that we had a good thing going, finally. So when a cat does this, make sure you do it back, because that cat is telling you it loves you. So if you turn and you're looking at your cat and it slow blinks at you, that means that it's saying, I trust you, I love you. So make sure you blink back. Me and Dixie do this back and forth all the time. She blinks and I blink, and they love it because it's their way of saying I love you. Another cat behavior is making biscuits or kneading. Now, a lot of scientists will tell you that cats will do this when they're nervous, and it's their way, kind of a way of calming themselves down sometimes. That and their purr. When they purr and they knead at the same time, it's because they're nervous. I disagree totally with that. And that's because I've had cats for years. And every time I've ever had a cat do that to me, it's because it's completely comfortable and it wants to cuddle. What I have noticed, though, is when they knead and do biscuits. Kneading is this. If you're a new cat owner, just in case you don't understand what kneading is, and sometimes Grayson air kneads, which is really cute. And when they do that, they're preparing their area. They're trying to get rid of all the lumps and making it soft so they can curl up on it. How I know that's what they're doing is I know multiple times watch my cat that I have now and other cats that I've owned. They'll stop kneading, turn around in a circle, and they'll start to sit down. And they start to sit down and then boom, back up again. There they go again. Kneading the whole circle around, doing the middle, around the sides, doing it all over again. Then they try to settle down again. And finally, it's perfect. So sometimes they need, and a lot of times they need, it's a source of comfort for them. It's also a way of preparing the area that they want to lay on to make it more comfortable for them to lay on, so that it's at the right softness for them. Less lumps, whatever it may be. Maybe they like it more lumpy. You know, every cat's different, just like every human's different. And a lot of times it's a nurturing thing for them, because when they're kittens, they need on their mother while they're suckling on her nipples. It helps to release the milk faster as they're sucking. So it helps with that. It's also more of a comfort thing, because they do that with their mom, and it's just kind of a mom baby bonding time. And so it's kind of their way of bonding with their human. A lot of times people don't think about it that way, and scientists don't look at it that way either. But it's bonding time. And so it's cute when they do that with you. It means that they're comfortable with you. And the other cat behavior that's really cute, actually, no, it's not, extremely annoying, is I get so annoyed with my cat. She will cuddle and she'll lay right here and she'll let me look at her. Get to see her little face. Then all of a sudden she totally flips. Her butt's in my face. Like, really? Why? Okay, cats put their butt in your face because they're comfortable with you. Cats never turn their back on somebody they're not comfortable with. If you make them nervous and you make them on edge, they want to see your every little move, every little breath. So if they turn their back to you and put their butt in your face, that's another sign of trust. They trust you. And it's the way of saying, I love you. Okay? So that's actually a very good thing. And another very good thing is if a cat rolls over and shows you their belly, that means they love you. That's also a sign that they're extremely comfortable. So once your cat gets really, really comfortable, they'll lay on their side and expose their belly while they're sleeping, things like that. Or, you know, doing things like that, which I love it when Dixie does that, because she's got a little white bikini spot. And it's a little triangle space right on her tummy, and it's so cute. I've got a couple of pictures of it, and I just think it's the cutest thing. So I always love it when she exposes her little belly. So it just means that they trust you, because all of their organs are right there. Their main organs are right there, where the stomach is. So when they expose their stomach, they're exposing the most important and vulnerable part of their body to you. So, you know, another thing that I love, and I really taught this to Dixie, and Dixie's always done it with me, but it took a long time to get her to do it with my husband, is headbutting. And when a cat goes, headbutt you, that's their sign of, and that's another symbol of saying they trust you and that they love you. They're also leaving their scent on you. They're marking you. They're saying, you're mine. You belong to me. No other cat is allowed to have you. You're mine. My scent is on you. And they have on their cheeks and out behind their tails, they have scent glands that releases. So a lot of times they'll headbutt you, and then sometimes they'll do this. And I don't know if you noticed, but I've done it, I think, in a couple of my videos where Dixie has shown up. And because she's more my cat, so I can do more things with her than I can with Grayson, if that makes any sense. Dixie loves it when I rub my cheek on her. So I will headbutt her, and we'll do this, and we'll touch noses. I know you guys have seen that before in some of my videos, my workout videos. But there is times where I literally will take my cheek and run it down from her cheek all the way down close to her tail, and she just starts purring. She has 2 purrs. Now, this is one thing you gotta learn about cats. Every cat is different. You will learn your cat the longer you have them. Okay, my cat has 2 cat purrs. She has a very soft and gentle purr, but it's also loud. She also has another purr that's really fast and hard. You want the soft and gentle purr. When she has soft, gentle purr, she is so content and so happy. And when she purrs hard and fast, put her down and put her down now. She's mad. That's basically what it means. You know, some cats will take their ears and they'll go flat against their head like this. That usually means they're mad or irritated about something, so you better stay away from them and leave them alone and let them calm down, okay? My girl I think she's done it once, and she actually has done it when in a live video I've done with you guys. Um, she's only done it once or twice in her life where she's put her ears back, because she doesn't have to do that with me. I know her person, I understand that. Her and I have a good understanding of each other, and that may be also why I'm her human, because she knows I get her. When she does the hard fast purr, I know she's mad for some reason. She's mad at me, or she's mad about something. So I immediately put her down and I walk away from her and I let her calm down. Because I know that's her way of telling me, leave me alone. I don't want to be touched. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. But then when I do the thing with the cheek and all the way down her side, she has this real gentle, soft purr, but it's loud. And she's in heaven. She loves it. She loves it when I do that. And then usually I get rewarded with a headbutt. She starts giving me kisses, and that's her way of giving me kisses. And I will say it too. I'll be like, "You're giving me thick kisses," and she knows what that means. And she comes up and she's right in my face, and I give her a little kiss on the forehead every single time. Okay, so now we talked about cat behaviors. And caring for cats is super easy. Make sure you groom them regularly. Cats shed, and especially when spring and summer comes, they shed a lot. If they're a medium or long-haired cat, their hair will get knots and tangles in them if you do not groom them enough. Make sure you have hairball medicine for them, and if you do not have any hairball medicine ready, take a little bit of butter on the tip of your finger and shove it back in their jaw. Okay? And what that will do is that loosens up that hairball that's in their throat. I know when my cats have a hairball, they make a kind of a coughing, choking sound. And when they do that coughing, choking sound, a lot of times it's because they got a hairball caught in their throat. So a little bit of butter or a little bit of hairball medicine will do the trick and help them get rid of it in a safe way. Another thing that helps dislodge it is to take I done it in one video. Which one was it? I think it was the one where I did for Desi's husband about why yoga and stretching is so important. It was kind of a vlog I did. And anyway, Dixie, all of a sudden I could hear her making noises. I don't know if you could hear the noises very well in the video, but I knew she was making noises. I knew it meant she had a hairball. And so I gently rub her neck right here. You just put your hands behind their neck. Get behind them and put your hands right here and just gently massage their neck right in here. And that will dislodge the hairball. And it'll keep them from spitting it out. So you don't have a mess to clean up on the floor. Cats, just like dogs, if they overeat or they're allergic to food, they will get sick at their stomachs. Unfortunately, cats get sick of their stomachs a lot. So that is one thing that you need to be ready for when you own a cat, is them getting sick of their stomachs and being prepared to clean up cat messes. They don't do it on purpose. It's just sometimes they eat too fast, or maybe that food agreed with them yesterday, but it doesn't today. And things like that. Sometimes, I don't know, sometimes they get too much hair in them, like hairball mixed with their food, and then bleh, you can't help it, okay? And like my vet said, if you own a cat, they just get sick a lot. A lot of people who are first-time cat owners get worried because they're getting sick a lot. The stomachs, he says, if you own a cat, you can expect to be cleaning up cat messes at least 2 or 3 times a week. That's part of having a cat. Okay, the other thing you need to be ready for is they like to bring you gifts. Thankfully, my cats are indoor cats. So the extent of the gifts I get is Grayson bringing one of his toys, his squeaky toys. Some cats like noisy toys, other cats do not. Grayson is like a dog, 100% dog behavior. He likes squeaky toys. His favorite toys are squeak, 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 squeak. He likes the squeaky mouse, squeaky bird, squeaky. If it's got a squeaker in it, he's in heaven. Okay? So Dixie, on the other hand, likes the very soft toys. They have those soft balls with feathers on them, things like that. That's her favorite kind of toy. Mice that has catnip in them, but I was very soft to the touch. Dixie will play with it all day. That's her thing. They both, of course, love feather toys and string. Any kind of string you can give them. They go nuts over. Okay. So You have to be ready for them to bring you mice and birds. See, and cats are natural hunters. And so therefore, for them, their way of telling you thank you and providing and taking care of their human or their pack, you're part of their pack, so is to bring you toys and to bring you birds that are dead, baby bunnies, and mice. Oh my goodness, I had my cat that was indoor outdoor cat when I was preteen. Brought the baby bunny on the front porch, and let me just put it this way, I went and I smacked my cat with a broom. I was so mad at him. He was bringing it to us as a gift, and I was looking at it as, this is not no gift, this is a baby bunny. I don't care if you bring me mice, I don't care if you kill mice, but you're not going to kill baby bunny. Oh, we couldn't save it, it died. My mom had to tell me the next morning. I had to throw away my shirt because I tried to save this bunny. I had it in my, and I was carrying it, and my mom says, you gotta go hide it somewhere where Kitty won't find it. We brought the cat in, made him stay in all night, even though he hated it because he's an indoor outdoor cat, so he's used to roaming outside outdoors all night. We didn't let him out that night to try to protect the bunny. The next morning, Mom found it. It was dead. But Mom said she knew by the amount of blood that was on my shirt that it was already gone. I had to throw my shirt away, let's just put it that way. So you have to be ready for that. Okay, Dixie she eats spiders, and she loves crickets, and she still to this day does. When we hear a cricket in the basement, we put them to bed at night because the room's down in the basement. We're like, it's an unfinished payment. Well, I guess Dixie has a new toy to chase tonight. She'll have that cricket. Next night you go down, no sound. She's ate it. Okay, she was this big. She fit in the palm of my hand. Okay, when we first moved into this house, we would stay in the office, and that's when we still slept together in the same room. And we were trying to save money, so we would only heat up the bedroom, and we'd have a space heater going. Keep that area closed. The cats wanted to wander around out there, we let them wander around. They could scratch at the door, we let them in, blah blah blah. We heard a lot of thrashing in the kitchen. Couldn't figure out what it was. We run out there, and lo and behold, Dixie, this big. This is how quick she turned into a hunter. Already had her hunting skills going. This small. She had a cricket's half of the body of a cricket was hanging out of her mouth. Do you know how gross that was for us to see? We were going, ew, 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 ew. Slam that door, back in the office. We were like, ah! It was so gross. It was really gross. And then another time there was this huge spider that was in. I think Cuddles got the spider that time. That was in the trailer. That was before we moved into the house, and that was my old cat. But Dixie, I watched her, physically watched her. She watches spiders make their webs in the basement. And then I watched her stand there and start eating the web until she got that spider. That spider had no choice but to come to her. That spider would be up here, the web would be down here. In her mouth, she'd eat the whole entire web and eat the spider. So you have to remember, cats are natural hunters. They are going to eat insects, and they are going to do gross things like that. They will not be messy with their excrement. They will not eat their vomit like dogs. They will not eat their poo like dogs, but they will do something like that. Okay, so just be ready for that. So now you understand what it is like to own a cat. Ins and outs of it. I love my babies to the moon and back. I love it because they're extremely lovable. They're affectionate. They're loyal. I don't know how many times I've been really bad sick, or I've had a bad panic attack, and Dixie would not leave my side. I remember there was one time, I don't get flus very bad very often. When I get sick, and I will be down for the count for 2 or 3 days. You will know when I'm sick, okay? Because it doesn't happen to me very often, but when I do get something, oh my goodness, it hits me hard, so that's why I'm scared of that, you know what's going around. It freaks me out so bad right now, okay, because I know when I get hit with something, usually I get hit with the worst, and I get hit really bad. So, anyway, I had this flu for 2 days. I mean, I was miserable. I couldn't even hardly get out of bed. It kind of started about 12 at night. I had to call off work. And lo and behold, I get up. And Dixie would not leave my side. And all day long, even though my husband put soft food down, and they love their soft food, she wouldn't go eat it because she knew I was that sick. She refused to leave me. And that is loyalty. Now you tell me that cats are not loyal like dogs, and you have a cat that senses that you're sick and will not leave your side. She didn't get up to eat, she didn't get up to drink, she didn't get up to go to the bathroom the whole entire day. 8 hours straight she stayed curled up right here at my side. If I had to get up and go to the bathroom, she would move and let me go, and she'd sit there and stare because she could see me from the bed to the bathroom, and she would sit there and stare and watch me to come back. She wouldn't budge because she knew I was that sick, and she knew I was coming straight back to bed. And whenever I have a panic attack, she's headbutting me to try to reassure me. She will lay on my legs if I'm at that point where I'm having the shakes from it to get me to stop shaking. So I'm telling you now, they are the most wonderful thing. Animals are the most wonderful thing, whether you choose a dog or a cat. They're very loyal. Both of them are. Both of them will love you with every fiber of their being. I don't like anyone who says that animals do not know how to love. Because when Cuddles died, Dixie for 2 days hardly ate or drank. She ran around meowing this horrible, mournful meow. She would sit for at least up to 6 months, even though we had Grayson in the house. She would not accept Grayson. She would headbutt him. She would smack him, chase him out of the litter box when he tried to use it. She refused to accept him. She would sit and she would turn and stare at the cat door before we got Grayson, and she would watch like this and wait for Cuddles to come up out of that basement. You tell me she wasn't missing him. Because if she was looking at their room and watching for him to come up from there, because that was where she watched him die, you tell me that that is not loyalty and that is not love. She grieved. She cried. She drug her belly on the ground. So animals do have feelings. They are very loyal. And they need us. So whether you choose a cat or a dog is up to you. But I filled you in on some things about them. The other thing before I go is do's and don'ts. Like I said, never hold a cat against its will. The other thing is, do not hold it with its belly up. It doesn't like being cradled like a baby. You know, you might be able to do that with a puppy dog that's a small bred puppy dog. And he'll be like, you do that with a cat, it gets very scared. Cats are kind of independent nature. You have to remember, they have to feel like they're in control. They like to be held firmly because they want to know that you're not going to drop them, but not so tight that they can't get loose and jump out of your arms when they're ready to. Don't ever hold them to the point that they cannot move or feel like they don't have the independence of jumping down and leaving you at will when they're ready and done with it. If you feel them wiggling their paws or shifting around, that usually means they're ready to be put down. So that doesn't mean hold them tighter and try to move them a different direction. That means gently get close to the ground and let them go. Okay? So that's basically your don'ts, is just making sure that you don't hold them against their will and do not lay them on their stomach. Never approach a cat that has its ears back, and never approach a cat that hisses at you. Both, if its ears are back or it hisses at you, you've scared it and it's upset. So don't approach it. And the other thing is a do is if a cat has its tail up like this and it seems real calm around you and friendly, slowly approach it. But slowly approach it. That is a do. Make sure you go up to it, but go up very gently, very calm, very quiet, soft spoken, and approach it. Uh, and, get down to its level and put your hand out just like you would a dog. You to a dog, you always put your hand like this. You go up to a dog, a new dog, and it looks like it'd be friendly. You always put the back of your hand to the animal, and that is a sign of saying, "Hey, I'm not going to hurt you," because if you do this, whap, they think you're gonna hit them, right? So you always want to do it this way, because this is a sign of trust. This is a sign of, hey, I want to be friends. I don't want to hurt you. Let them sniff your hand, with a dog or cat both. You let them sniff your hand, and then if they kind of do this, then that means it's okay to touch them, okay? Or with a dog, if it starts wagging its tail, then of course you pet it. With a cat, it starts wagging its tail, it means it's mad at you. So then you back off. Okay? And so there's your do's and don'ts. Just you want to make sure you give your cats lots of space, but lots of affection, because they need us as much as dogs do. They just are more able to take care of themselves than a dog is. They don't need the care that a dog does. Like, they don't need the daily walks, and they don't need someone to feed them, water them and give them water every day. As long as there's enough food and water left, you can leave them for 3 days without any worries and come home and to help healthy, happy cats. The thing I would suggest, though, is having more than one, especially if you don't have a human that's home 24/7. If you live in a household where you have a human that's retired and home 24/7, you're good. But if you live in a household like Brent and I do, where you're both working a lot and you're not home a lot, make sure they have another friend around, and make sure that if you don't get them at the same time, you give them this, you introduce them slowly. They need to be sleeping in separate rooms at night together only when you're at home with them from the first week, because they have to get used to each other's behaviors and used to each other being in each other's territory, because whichever cat was there first is going to get territorial with the new cat that comes in. So there's going to be those little tiffs and those little fights at the beginning. So you need to make sure they're in separate spots for a little bit, and they have time away from each other when you're not home with them to watch them close, and at nighttime when they're sleeping, and give them that space so that way they can have their separate time, and also so you can get some sleep. Okay? So whatever you do, make sure that you adopt and you do not chop. Just remember, there's a lot of animals in those shelters. Some of them are coming there as kittens. Some of them are a little bit older, who have been, I forget how they call it, but abandoned by their human. Their human just couldn't take care of them anymore. Whether it was just that they just decided that, owning an animal was too much for them, or what it was, and they just drop them. And so what's wrong? So anyway, whichever way it is, make sure you adopt, because there's a lot of animals in those shelters that need your love. And whatever you do, adopt and don't chop. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and check me out on my Facebook.